First of all, the licence fee is exorbitant as it is. I also said they should look at the top earners. The money is savage. Dee Forbes was before the committee. She's on over 400,000. Many of the top presenters are up in the 500,000.
I believe RTE have applied for an increase in the licence fee, and I'm wondering if you had any thoughts on this issue.
I certainly have, especially having come through 2 years of, totally biased journalism, fake news from that our national broadcaster. In actual fact, they don't deserve that name any longer, because they've refused right through the so-called pandemic to allow any discussion, allow any professor of immunology, a scientist, politician, layperson, person affected by vaccines to be next to near the show. In fact, Claire Byrne one night pre-recorded with a lady, and she just admonished her having dissected her interview and before she introduced her. So, first of all, the licence fee is exorbitant as it is. I also said they should look at the top earners. The money is savage. Dee Forbes was before the committee. She's on over 400,000. Many of the top presenters are up in the 500,000. And look, let them. We're told that they have to pay that money to attract them. I don't watch it anymore, but I've told by numerous people that it was dire over the Christmas period, the filming that was on. Let these people survive in the open market. It's time to support the likes of the local radios and indeed the community stations, TG Car, August Tufain and Gript News and other media who want to ask the questions. The journalists in RT, some good journalists there, but obviously there was a decision taken, obviously for finance, for money from the government, to spread the narrative of fear, total and absolute fear, and to hell with the truth. That's a sad situation in Ireland. So I will oppose with might and main any attempt to get the licence fee. But of course they get it from this government because they did their bidding. They told the people what the government wanted them to tell them, and we'll see the result of it. I've called for an inquiry, international inquiry, into the whole handling of the pandemic, but also our national broadcaster and many other mainstream media need to be held accountable for their lack of questioning the narrative, or questioning the obvious situation that they needed to question, the figures that were totally wrong. I see where, I don't know what country, where a national newspaper editor has apologised to the people for not being more investigative and investigating in questions, and for not asking the hard questions. Apologies is little good to people whose businesses are ruined, whose mental health is ruined, who the backup of cancer patients and other sicknesses way down the line. Nothing going on in the hospitals, only one narrative: COVID. And we're all sold a pig in a poke here, and so they don't deserve the name of our national broadcaster any longer.
What did you think of the Taoiseach? I think it was last week. He said words to the effect, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but more or less he said that we should be very careful about how we conduct any kind of inquiry, because it might make the government more cautious in the event of future pandemics, and they might not act as quickly if they're concerned, oh no, there's going to be an inquiry and I'm going to get dragged in, and so that we should be careful about how we conduct this one. What would you think of that?
Sorry for laughing, because it's so serious to the people that died. It's so serious to the people that couldn't visit their loved ones when they were in hospitals and they were in body bags and they couldn't have a funeral or a proper grieving process. All those stories need to be heard. We're talking now about the June babies and all the things that went on in the country over the years. This will be talked about in history and times as a most horrific time. Of course the Taoiseach would say that. He doesn't want an inquiry in case he might have to answer questions. He has serious questions to answer. Serious questions to answer about who was directing him, who was he acting on, why did he indemnify Big Pharma, why did he have to, and I challenged him on the door that day, and of course we needed an inquiry, but he doesn't want it. Of course he doesn't.